Milyen veszélyeket, kockázatokat és lehetőségeket rejt a küszöbön álló 5G technológia, és mi a helyzet a Huawei termékeivel? A kínai vállalat a Nemzetközi Telekommunikációs Szövetség budapesti konferenciáján mutatta be az 5G-vel kapcsolatos elemzését és megoldásait. A Huawei szerint az 5G nem egyszerűen gyorsabb technológiát, hanem egy teljesen új paradigmát jelent a felhasználók, a háztartások, a vállalatok és a közösségek számára egyaránt. Az 5G 2035-re 12 billió dollárnak megfelelő gazdasági termelést generál majd, és ekkorra a telekommunikációs szolgáltatók bevételeinek 80%-a köthető majd az 5G-hez. A Huawei USA kiberbiztonsági vezetőjével az 5G veszélyeiről, valamint termékeik és szolgáltatásaik biztonságáról beszélgettünk.
Well, our communication networks are going to enable our lifestyles and our way of life in ways that never existed before. So we as a society are going to become much more dependent on our information and communication networks. Cybersecurity poses a risk that malicious actors could penetrate, access data, or could shut down those networks. So because we're so dependent and we're going to become much more dependent on these technologies, we have to take cybersecurity and privacy concerns much more seriously than we have in the past. The work is underway right now through various standards bodies, including the 3GPP, to develop standards for what the operators, what the equipment vendors must do, so there's an objective and transparent basis for trust. As different business scenarios for 5G develop, those standards processes are going to continue to make sure the most significant threats are addressed. So that's why the standards efforts is so important.
A Huawei szerint nem egyetlen szolgáltató múlik a kiberbiztonság kérdése, hanem minden érintettnek, szolgáltatóknak, államnak ki kell vennie belőle a részét.
We believe the efforts both in Germany through their BSI and in NISA through the certification effort and the efforts involving the network equipment security evaluations, all these efforts are very, very important, and it's so important for governments and private organizations to participate in them, so that way we have really good mechanisms and conformance programs, so we have a basis to trust and we know that we can depend on these technologies. The United States is involved in a geopolitical struggle with China. I think we are. Huawei is kind of in the crosshairs of those discussions. We hope the U.S. government will participate in the standards efforts. We hope the U.S. government will look to objective and transparent mechanisms to know which products are worthy of trust, because the sophisticated nation states can hack into everybody's products. So blocking Huawei from any one country is not going to make that country safer.
A Huawei a külföldi befolyásolással kapcsolatos vádakra is reagált.
Well, there was a detailed study that looked at Huawei ownership. Huawei is completely privately owned with no ownership interest by the Chinese government. As you know, a number of companies in China are China government controlled. Some even publicly traded companies are majority owned by the China government, but Huawei is not one of those companies. And in fact, we have 80,000 shareholders in China who have voting rights and get profit participation. And in other countries, we get profit participation from the earnings of Huawei. So we feel very confident that Huawei is privately owned.